everybody. I'm going to start um, this stream. I'm planning to make a YouTube video with a reading first. I've been planning this reading for a while, so I'm going to do a YouTube reading first. And then afterwards, if there's anyone who's interested in receiving a reading, I would be happy to do some. I'm going to quickly type what I just said in the chat box in case anybody misses it. So let's start with that first. No, I need to. Okay, I think I got it set up. Hopefully that's easy. I think that's easy to read. Hopefully it is. And I want to make sure I start recording. Hi. Today is a reading, a message from your past loved ones. So I just ask that all readings are for entertainment purposes only. Take what resonates with you and leave behind the rest. I am going to interpret how I see things first. Tarot, I still learn a little bit because they're more specific, but I like to do my own interpretation ahead of time. And then I'll read from the book, most likely. I'm going to show you each deck that I will be using today. I'm going to start with Tarot, and it's the Anime Tarot by Natasha Iglesias. I think that's how you say it. Iglesias. Alright. Some of them are okay. What are the cards you want me to take from this pile here? Okay, so it's starting with 3 cards. I have not flipped them over yet. I want to see what comes out. Oh, excuse me. I want to see what comes out first. So first we have 7 of Swords. This makes me think of old wounds. 7 is usually considered a lucky number, but it makes me think of old wounds, maybe hurtful memories. Just off of a top interpretation to start for. Let's take a look at the book and see what it says for 7 of Swords. Oh, alright. Okay, so my interpretations, I said 7 of Swords makes me think of old wounds, and I also said that I like hurtful memories of some sort. And the other weird thing that makes me think of is like it makes me think of ancestors, or like it's someone who's passed away, who's older, who's passed away, maybe like a great grandparent or a grandparent is what it feels like. I think of a man, and I think of him being kind of more like a grumpy old man who is like not necessarily stuck in his ways, but gave everybody a hard time all the time, kind of personality is what I'm getting. So this is the card. Hmm, I'll have to get a better camera eventually. So the swords, and the card, it says the attributes of the card. It says theft, deception, underhanded behavior, cheating, and sabotage. And it came in upright position, so those are the attributes of the cards. And then when I read farther along according to the book that it came with, it says it signals that some sneaky, shady business is going down. You may feel robbed or betrayed. And before I continue, just that one sentence makes me think of it makes me think of a will. It makes me think somebody tricked this person in changing their will, or something was not followed in the will and they want that fixed, is what I get so far. And then, let's see. You may feel robbed or betrayed,
This is
and if
it.
that's the
The
case,
night when
this
everything changes.
card,
Because tonight, you're
this
going to
card
try
encourages
Domino's
you
new
to,
Parmesan stuffed crust.
um, sorry, I lost my spot. And if that's the case, this card encourages you to look around you and investigate their motives. Who knows? The I said second hand for some reason instead of just the hand, so the word or second hand in some way has some meaning to this reading. The hand that stabs a blade into your back could be theirs. Alternatively, this card can warn you to analyze the methods you're using to achieve what you want. So basically, you're being dishonest in your actions, and um, you need to take accountability for it, basically, and you need to reconsider your actions because that's going to be karma that's going to nip you in the bud if you don't reconsider. And then let's see. Are you the one who's being duplicitous and evasive? And are your intentions pure? Is what the Seven of Swords that I just played says. Okay, I feel satisfied with the interpretation of that card, so I'm going to move on to the next one, which is the Three of Pentacles. Oh, I'll get the adjustment of this light the best I can when I can. Hopefully I get a better camera over time. But for now, you can see it, I think. It's better far away because my light is a little farther outside the camera. So, Three of Pentacles. It actually makes me think of a good harvest, just from the tarot card alone. Three usually makes me think of creativity, and so good harvest makes me think of the wheat fields, and it makes me think of farmers specifically. I'm hearing I'm hearing reap what you sow, and abundant blessings will come up beyond the horizon. So it it's that phrase alone makes me think it's like you want something and you're trying to find it to get it, but it's far out of your grasp because you're looking too hard for it instead of finding it near or within you. Um, they're putting thoughts in my mind of somebody who's being greedy. I feel like I'm calling so many people out right now. um, so they're putting in my mind somebody being greedy instead of grateful. So spend time actually thinking about what you're grateful for. And they're now giving me an image that it's not necessarily that you're intentionally greedy. It's more like you feel like you've gone through a lot of hardship and you have a difficult time finding something that makes you feel at peace. And it makes me think that a passed on loved one is someone who you knew might have had something and you thought maybe you could be a part of that, and your intentions aren't technically pure because you have ulterior motives in it, but um a part of you both feels guilty, but so like your heart feels guilty, but your mind feels like this is the logical way to go. My suggestion and advice to you is to follow your heart instead. So Three Pentacles. I'm going to read from the book now because that was my interpretation of the card before reading the book. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm going to take a drink real quick. Don't judge me too hard. Oh, much better. Okay, so we're going to move on to the Three of Pentacles. Oh, I almost opened up right to it. Okay, so the card book's meaning and the actual tarot meaning, because it's based off of the tarot meaning. It's in upright position, so the attributes are collaboration, enterprise, recognition, and work. So that's interesting to me because the recognition part of the attributes of the book is kind of correlating with what I said in terms of like someone is like being unintentionally greedy instead of grateful. So, alright, if I go farther down, it says the Three of Pentacles is a card of hard work, collaboration, and investment. So this makes me think two things. That makes me think back to what I just said about you've gone through a lot of difficulties in life, but this also makes me think of trial and error. And for some reason it makes me think specifically of the stock market. I have I have no idea how the stock market works, but it's what it makes me think of, and that's popping in my head. And the word day trades is being whispered in my ear. Um, your talents and commitments, your talents and commitment are being recognized by others, and because of this, you're able to begin working on a meaningful project with support and investment of those around you. So keep in mind that I mentioned before even reading the card that I think you need to acknowledge the abundance you already have, and you're looking for it in the wrong place, and you also need patience for it to come and arrive. Because I said it's beyond the horizon. All right. Your goal can be achieved only if everyone is willing. Oh, whoops. Step up the plate and put work in, including you. I didn't even read the correct spot, but I guess that was part of the message because, it's nothing's a coincidence. So, let's see, where was I actually? Okay, I said you begin working on a meaningful project with the support and investment of those around you. So whether this is an actual work project or a mission of personal growth, your dedication and efforts aren't going unnoticed. So yeah, it's giving me an image in my mind's eye of a person dragging their feet, and it's also giving me the emotional burden of burnout and exhaustion, and you're just tired of it. So, um, if there's something you're currently doing that you don't like doing, you don't have to continue doing it, but instead of full on stopping, gradually go in a gradual decline and do that in a way where you find something you do like doing, or a job or a career, something else that you like more, you feel more secure and stable in it. I'm thinking of the zodiac Taurus specifically. You guys, often Taurus are very material and earth bound, like not possessive, but like possessions, material items, and just physical things. And I feel like some of you, depending on what you were used to, it's starting to really stress you out. I'm also getting an image of a person who overwhelms themselves all the time to the point where they overthink to an extreme portion of overthinking, and then they basically the thermometer keeps going up and up, and eventually it just explodes and then it's back down. That's the image I'm getting for some of these people. So I'm also hearing that it's a lot of family dynamics involved, and it makes me think of a big family. So it sounds like there's probably some controversy within the family itself in terms of what this passed on loved one is telling me to interpret and say. Um, it makes me think of like a big family, makes me think there's controversial things such as I'm being told to say whether you should go to the funeral or the wake or not. The answer is yes, you should go, regardless of any others' opinions of you, or even if, like, I'm hearing the word fallen out, even if you had a fallen out with whoever it was, spirit or the passed away person. I refer to spirit, but it's whoever you associate with, whoever, whatever you associate with. They're telling me that even if you had a fallen out, this person who's passed away, regardless of the results or things that are going on currently in the living realm, they want you to go to the funeral because that is a way for them to connect to you. I'm being told that you're going to feel them touch your shoulder while you're there. So I don't know if that's a meaningful thing for you in some way, but it makes me think of like this, like just like you're doing good, kid, is what it makes me think of. Whew, that was a mouthful for that one. Okay, so that was still the Three Pentacles. There was a secondary interpretation after the reading. Now I'm going to go into the third card of the tarot that I played. For those of you who are visiting, if some of you are new and just came in, I am doing an oracle and tarot card reading. Um, I like to call it an intuitive reading because I like to mix both of them together, and I'm doing, excuse me, messages from the past on loved ones. So far, I played Seven of Swords and Three of Pentacles, and now I'm going to play the third card. Fascinating. So Four of Pentacles in reverse. This makes me feel like it's definitely money related. This makes me feel like some of you feel like you were gypped out, maybe out of assets or something. Something related to a past on loved ones, and you felt like you deserved more. I'm also seeing a car. I don't understand the significance, but they're showing me a car in my mind. A car was supposed to go to somebody specific, and maybe it didn't go to the person it was promised to. Is there anything else from this Four of Pentacles? I'm being told to tell you this message that's important. Um, even if you feel like you're not receiving the even if you feel like you're not receiving the money you should have gotten from the assets or when the person has passed away, I'm being told that you have a sustainable income to an extent. You have more than some other people. And then um, I'm being told to tell you to remind yourself of that because that's still abundant, and it's instead of thinking of a lack mindset, think of an abundant mindset. So that's the Four of Pentacles of my interpretation first, and I'm going to read from the book from the deck I'm using, the Anime Tarot by Natasha Iglesias. I think that's how you say it. So if I go, I feel like I'm gonna play two more tarot cards um, after reading this, just to play two more, and then let's see what it says. Okay, so the Four of Pentacles showed up in reverse. So before I read the... Oh, okay, yeah, it's got reverse attributes. Okay, so it mentions selfishness, stinginess, tendency to hoard, which is kind of closely connected to what I was just interpreting. Something about they gave me an image of a car. I think somebody didn't receive the car they were supposed to receive in the will. Um, and I feel like it ended up going to someone else. It feels like it was a broken promise, because it ended up being a word of mouth instead of written a written word. And then the reminder of the just remembering that you are actually in a very good place, but you're having a lack of mindset, and I feel like you were cheated to an extent for some of for whoever this reading is connecting with. If it's resonating with you, that's great. If it doesn't, leave it be. Something else will come along the way. So as reverse attributes: selfishness, stinginess, tendency to hoard. Are you terrified of losing what you have? You've achieved your current level of wealth, prosperity, and security thanks to conservatism and stringent money management. So you want to stick to this pattern to ensure your security and future prosperity. While this is understandable, the Four of Pentacles wants to make sure you're not leaning too far into greed, miserliness, and selfishness. Sorry, I'm not used to that word, so I said it funny. Um, it came up in reverse, so I'm going to read the reverse meaning. I read both meanings in this because I feel like both meanings of the upright and the reverse position are important. So, when reversed, the Four of Pentacles warns that you have dipped too far into selfishness, stinginess, and desperate desire to hoard. So that's the part that's like, um, when I said it's not connecting, like you're forgetting that you already are abundant in some way. So this part that is saying you dip too far into selfishness, stinginess, and the desperate desire to hoard. It's like hoarding money is what I get at, which is probably why the zodiac Taurus was coming up for me previously. If you're in a precarious financial situation, continue to observe, if not investigate, why you feel this need and try to be more generous and considerate of others. And that is definitely something that I mentioned, I think, in the Seven of Swords or the Three of Pentacles. I was talking about like someone who feels kind of like dripped out, and someone who feels bogged down by chains, and like um and someone who they feel treated unfairly is what I get out of it. Okay, so I'm gonna play two more tarots for this reading. This is a reading I'm posting on YouTube as well, so I'm doing that first for those of you coming in saying hello. Hi, nice to meet you, and welcome again for return people, because I don't know what to say at the moment. Okay, so I'm gonna twist this again because I feel like it needs to shift the energy. So I'm gonna play two more tarot on top of this one. I feel like the start from this past unloved one, whoever this is reaching out to. I feel like the start of this tarot was like to call basically to call you out on all your stuff. And then I feel like these last two I'm about to play is like something else, basically. So, alright. Oh, okay, hello. There's three cards I wanted to play. I only wanted two. So, since I played three, that's six altogether, and six in numerology often is a significant of love, family, and relations. So, first card is the Ten of Wands. So the Ten of Wands, the way it's stacked, it makes me think of family members. I did get the vibe that there was a large family, and they're all going in alternate directions. So the alternate directions make me think like alternate directions of life. And then there's one person who kind of shines more brighter than others from what I see. And then there on the bottom, there's another person who also shines, but they don't shine as brightly as the other one, so their light feels dulled in some way. So that's the first one for my interpretation of it. So I'm going to read the book now. Ooh, I went too far. It's an upright position, so it says persistent burdens, endurance, upcoming achievements. Interesting. Okay. You're almost at a finish line, so don't give up. Okay, so that one line makes me think of what I just said about someone shines more brightly, but the other person who also shines is like not necessarily dull, but their shine isn't as bright as the other one yet. But it feels like it's like leading up. It's like climbing the ladder. Yes, you may be exhausted, and yes, you may be overwhelmed by the burden you're carrying, but you've made it this far. You can make it a bit farther. This card can mean that you've signed up for way more work than you're able to handle, or maybe that others have placed too much expectations on you. Either way, while things may feel unbearable, you're almost where you need to be. This is the final stage, and all you need is one final burst of energy, creativity, and effort to achieve your goal. Excuse me. Yes. Yep. Okay. So that was the Ten of Wands. I feel like the number 10 is significant too, or it could be 1, because 10 in numerology is 1, which stands for new beginnings. So, sure, I'm gonna finish the YouTube video recording first, but I will be open to giving whoever wants some after it's finished recording. I'll keep you on the list. Okay, so next card that played is Four of Cups inverted. First, it makes me think of a row of lights. It makes me think of a hospital going down the hall towards the towards the emergency room, like an operation room for surgery. It also makes me think of emptying your cup, like the proverb, emptying your cup because it's too full. And then cups is usually related to emotions, and the what it makes me feel is that you have too much built up emotions within, to the point where you're being too bottled up and you're filling up too much or overflowing too much because of it. And four numerology stands for stability, and because it shows up in reverse, um, it signifies instability in my mind, in what makes sense to me. So it you're a wobbly cup spilling over is what I'm getting out of it, because there's too much. You have too much emotion, too much mental, and too much um, outside sources going on. Pardon me for a moment. Okay, and then we have Eight of Pentacles upright. I get positive vibes off. Oh, I forgot to read the book for the Four of Cups, which I'll do in a moment. But the Eight of Pentacles upright, it's a positive vibe that I get in emotion and feelings from it. I'm hearing the word growth, and I'm also hearing growing, and I'm hearing the word investment. So invest in something to grow your worth is basically what I'm hearing. And I'm also being told to tell you to find your worth. There's something about you or on the inside that you know about yourself, and you know you deserve more, and you know you're worthy of specific things, but you're having a hard time showing it, expressing it, and setting those standards for yourself, is how I'm interpreting those two cards. So let me read from the book, from the deck, and then I'll move on to it's still one reading so far. I'm going to read from the book from this deck, and then I have 3 more decks I'm going to go through first for the oracle side of it. I just wanted to start with the tarot. So Four of Cups, let's see here. Okay, it's in reverse. So reverse attributes are readiness, reconsideration, and motivation. When reversed, the Four of Cups can hint that you might finally be ready to shake things up and reform the status quo. If there's something you'd like to change, get ready because you're finally in a place to do so. Take this newfound energy and purpose and go forth. And then Eight of Pentacles attributes commitment, hard work, education, skill development, and investment. Oh, I said investment. I like when it connects. That's so fun. Okay, the Eight of Pentacles is all about hard work, commitment, and determination. If you're looking to build the foundation for better, more fulfilling future by mastering skills and putting in time and effort needed to accomplish your future goals. Whether that's investing in a healthy romantic relationship, managing budgets or projects at work, or investing in self-worth and personal growth. Oh, I said that too. Sorry, I'm shocked myself. Okay, the Eight of Pentacles shows that you're laying the groundwork for success. And because it's been organized as a road, because I tend to do roads the most, um, this is in the future, but it feels like it's like near to mid future. I would probably give it a range between 6 months to a year's time versus, like 5, 10 years later, because the future is so vague. So, okay, I'm gonna move into my next deck. And because this YouTube reading is based on messages from the past on loved ones, as I said when I started this, it feels like an old man, not necessarily stuck in his ways, but someone who gives everybody a hard time no matter what, regardless of any reason. And it feels like a great grandfather or a grandpa, but it's like an ancestor, like he feels like an ancestor way in the back. So, let me. Oh, the next deck is called Talking to Heaven by James Von Prague, and honestly, it's a mediumship card. Um, I I do describe myself as a medium because I vibe and connect with past and loved ones the most, especially with person-on-person readings. Um, all readings require an open mind and they're for entertainment purposes only. Anything you hear or take with you is purely your decision, and I am not liable. Um, as long as you stay open-minded, you might hear something interesting. If something stands out to you specifically, then that message is definitely meant for you. Alright, so I'm going to play these cards. It's actually my favorite deck that I own. Talking to Heaven is very straightforward in terms of the card itself, so I'll do my best to interpret what I also feel like it means. So the first card that has played that fell out is called There's No Such Thing as Death. And I'm being told that you should think about how even if you have a recent passed away member, you should think about even though you're experiencing grief, you're going through the stages of grief, of course. Everybody goes through that, right? And they go through it in different ways. I'm being told you should remember that like when this family member has been comfortable with their life to the point where they immediately move on to the next side, that they want you to know that it's easy to connect to them. It's easy for you to communicate with them. And when you ask them to be there, they will be right next to you and they will be listening to you as you speak to them. So this first card, There's No Such Thing as Death, it's telling me to remind you, whoever you are, of this. I'm very drawn to the lightning in this card. And the way the people are positioned actually makes me think of the tarot card, the Tower. And the Tower is usually something that is not controllable and it's inevitable and it will happen. But once it happens, um, things will move on to the better setting. So I'm being told to tell some of you to hang in there. Alright, and we're gonna move on to the next. I'm gonna play, I think, 3 from this deck. I wanna play 3 cards from this deck. So, oh, well, alrighty. Which one first? That one. Okay. Next card is I am not dead. There's a dove, and I feel like some of you want me, like you want me to say it's a messenger bird, but that's not how I view the dove in this moment. It actually makes me think of a wedding, and it makes me think of purity and like innocence. It makes me think of innocence. I see the sunlight the most in this card right now. Some of you might be low on like vitamin D, or you need to go outside a little more often, try to get some sun in, or do something like that. And I'm also hearing you should fly your wings, and it makes me think of traveling. And some of you, I feel like, have not traveled before, and traveling is going to be a very significant and good life experience for you because you're going to see new things in different areas, and your curiosity of traveling is going to grow, and it's actually going to become an enjoyable habit for you over time. All right, next card is I'm standing right next to you. That one to me is a self-explanatory one, and earlier in this reading um I said that somebody is gonna at a funeral or a wake or something that you weren't sure if you should be going to because of a falling out of some sort within the family. But that person is going to touch your shoulder. So this, I am standing right next to you, and me earlier saying that they can easily hear you if you're talking to them. I'm being told that some of them, even if you're watching me right now, or since this will be timeless, if you're watching me in the future, they're right next to you watching as well. And that's like a comforting thing for them and you in that moment, even though it seems a little scary. I have Tears Cleanse the Soul as the top card of the deck. Top card vibes, and this is basically the card telling me to tell you that it's okay to grieve, it's okay to cry, even if you have to do it alone or if you're because you're too embarrassed or uncomfortable to do it around others. I'm being told to this message is for a specific person. They want you to know that they love you, and it was a good ride is a specific phrase. I don't know the relevance, but that is what I'm hearing. Okay, so I'm going to move on to the next deck now, the Shaman's Dream. Once I grab it. Sorry, I forget to breathe because I talk too much. So um, I'm gonna shuffle. I'm gonna shuffle up this next deck so I can get the cards. What are the cards for this collective from past on loved ones? Stranger and Curiosity. I was just talking about traveling new places, never been traveling or to these places before, and your curiosity growing. I feel like that's a confirmation card, honestly. I'm drawn to the water in the image, so I don't feel like I should say swimming. I'm also drawn to the pine trees in the image, so maybe you're going in an area that's full of forest, trees, rivers, beautiful areas like that. Um, I live somewhat in an area like that, and we're heading into mud season, so don't wear any nice shoes if you're going there because they will get muddy and dirty. Bring some boots. Um, it makes me think of like a wildlife retreat or just hiking, like hiking in the woods. That's what it makes me think of, honestly. If you go near water, be careful of thin ice. Also, always be careful of thin ice. Lay of the land, ancestral wisdom. This makes me think of, there's a person at the top here. I'll show you. There's a person at the top here. Makes me think victory. um, it also makes me think of native blood and um, like Native Americans are very in tune with their ancestral spirit. It makes me think of that, and it makes me think of like a spiritual journey, I guess would be the word, or like a yeah, I think it's called a spiritual journey. You basically go, you leave to find yourself. That's the vibes I get from that card, and you're being encouraged to do so. And it feels like you're gonna learn so many new things about yourself, is what I'm hearing, which is probably part of the self growth that I got from the earlier part of the message. Will o' the Wisp, treasures hidden in the shadows. I see the fairies. Fairies like to have fun, they're playful, and they like to find treasures and trinkets. So the fairies, I see them as being a significant part of your life in some way, whether it was a grandparent who had these little trinkets everywhere, um, shiny objects, easily distracted. I also see the sparkles kind of like going up from the fountain. For some reason, it makes me think of the Fountain of Youth too. So, what's the significance? Oh, I'm being told that you need more play in your life. You need to have more fun. The past on loved ones want you to learn how to balance not only work and life, but responsibilities and playfulness as well. Fool's Embrace, transmuting pain. That feels like it's a healing process. It makes me feel very anxious, like severe anxiety. Certain things scare you in the world, and it's not for someone who's straightforward like myself can often be misinterpreted as someone as insensitive because straightforward people would be like, it's not as bad as you think. But when people suffer from anxiety, they think of every possible reason and thing that could go wrong, right? So it's hard to balance between that, and there's many things that scare you. Instead of jumping all in at once, because that's what's scary and that would probably backfire, start with something small that would you feel particularly brave and courageous to do to start off with. All right. I'm going to play one last card from this deck. Oh, I didn't show you what this deck was. It's called the Shaman's Dream Oracle for this one. It's by Alberto Villoldo and Colette Baron Reed. I like that name. Colette's a pretty name. Alright, last card. Dust Devil, moving out of stagnation. I feel like that's a confirmation card relating to what I was just saying. I also mentioned earlier some of you don't get enough sun or go outside enough, and you might be low on vitamin D. I feel like that's a confirmation card. And now I'm gonna play the last deck. Once I put this in here, sorry, one moment. Playing the last deck I took out for this specific reading, and this is the Buddha Wisdom Shakti Power deck that I have. Because they're power cards, I like to read it specifically as the phrase on the bottom, because to me that one message is the most powerful message, and it's like the advice you need to listen to or hear at the time. I am a non-sugarcoating reader, so anything I need to say or what spirit wants me to say, I will let out. I will not sugarcoat it at all. So that's the vibe. So hopefully some of you resonate with that. If you don't, I'm not the one for you. Alright, let's play these cards. First card is Giving creates a flow of health and love. So this brings me back to the beginning of the reading. Some of you, or the people who it resonates with in the beginning of the reading when I started, this is basically saying when I mentioned you don't realize you're already abundant and you don't know what to be grateful for. So basically you're being ungrateful to an extent. This says giving creates a flow of health and love. In, think of abundance, and instead of thinking about the things that you don't like. So for example, let's say in the will you got shafted of some stuff, right? So in the will, it didn't go as planned, and you're upset, angry, angry and mad are synonyms, cinnamon. Um, so you're angry that the will didn't go right, and you're angry at the people who changed it. You're angry that the part that was meant for you never happened, and like all the reasons you're angry for. Instead of being angry, cultivate that anger into something productive. So show that you're the better person. Donate to a charity. Help someone who's fallen down get up. Do something that is kind to someone else in some way, which will also uplift you and your energy. Next card is replace pride by knowing that separateness is an illusion. Distance is only a number, is what I'm told to tell somebody. Distance is only a number, it's never a burden. It may seem challenging, but it really isn't. We were blessed with many opportunities to travel, such as cars, buses, trains, planes, ships, and more. And we're all alive, sort of. This reading is about passed on loved ones, but technically they're still alive to me. So, and they're alive in your memories. Um, so but this particular thing I was just saying that distance is a number is for somebody very specific who it's relating back to that person who's traveling. So maybe they're thinking something's really far away, but it actually is much closer than anticipated. I'm also seeing the bowl she's holding. I'm sorry, it's hard to see because I have the light set up past the camera to see me better, but it's hard to see when I bring the cards close, but that's okay. I'm drawn to that bowl in her hand. It makes me think of food and eating, or maybe somebody here struggles with eating or eating specific things. I'm being told to tell you to pay more attention to your nutrition. Even if you don't eat a lot, make sure you get your proper nutrients in the little amount you do eat if you are someone who does that. Life gets busy. I'm being told or thinking specifically of traveling nurses. That's a word that they're telling me to say. Um, traveling busy, traveling nurses, nurse fields are incredibly difficult and busy. We're very grateful for the amount of work they do, but remember to eat. Like remember to get your nutrients. Take care of yourself first. In order to take care of others, you must be able to take care of yourself. And last card from this deck. I'm actually going to play two because I feel the energy at the top card of this deck too, so I'm going to play that last. Replace hatred through learning and wisdom. That's a confirmation card in my opinion. Replace hatred through learning and wisdom. I feel like it's self-explanatory and it makes me feel like I'm kind of repeating myself. I'm seeing the bowl again, so there's definitely significance, but I'm also seeing something new. For those of you who are spiritualists like me, I'm being told to tell you to cleanse your energy. It's time to smudge yourself. It's been too long. You've got too many gross energies stuck to you, and it's time to get rid of it. Also, ring some kind of bell or chimes or jingles of some sort, rattles, whatever it is. ring all that, break up the energy before you do the smudging. Oh, why did I do that? Oh, I guess I was meant to. I meant to play. No, I'm gonna split the deck. I'm gonna split the deck. Yep, okay, that's better. Cultivating a well-rounded personality brings fearlessness. This is like a confirmation card towards the anxiety thing I was mentioning before. So to me that's a confirmation card for it. The image of the card makes me think of a lot of these cards make me think of natives, like Native American, a spiritual journey or self-discovery journey of some sort. Makes me think of body paint you would see on like warriors and so on. I see it's not in the card at all, but I see drums hitting the drums. That feels significant too. But yeah, so that is my reading for messages for the past on loved ones that I will be posting on YouTube. And I'm going to stop my recording in a few seconds and then I'm going to move on to the stream. I just want to clean up for a second. And for YouTubers, thanks for watching. Bye. Okay. Hi everyone who came to stop by. Thank you for waiting if you're still here. I wanted to make sure I tried typing the message first so those of you who came in could read it in case I ignored you. I should say is not intentional, but it was. But um, I tried to wave hello as I was doing the reading though. So hi, first time chatter, the game 325777. Oh, thanks for joining. Danny, hello. Thanks for coming in again. First time chatter, Mr. Savajestic. Hello, nice to meet you. Dre, hi, nice to meet you too. Yes, you can have a reading if you'd like one. Now that I'm in the stream specifically and not still recording, let me know if you still want one. I think I'm gonna stick with cards I have near me. I can do a mix of them or one specific deck. If you want, I'll show you what they are in just a moment. Just trying to clear up my space a little bit first. I'm so sorry. I keep burping today. And I mean, in the past when I first started doing tarot, well, technically oracle card readings, but I started with tarot, and the first card that I ever played on myself was the High Priestess, which was so fun for me. And then I started exploring more after that. Okay, let me just stack these. Did I just make a huge mess? I might have. That's okay. Can everybody hear me okay? That's okay. Alright, so I'm still fairly new to streaming, so hopefully I can keep this going. I plan to try to stay in the stream at least for a little longer. I gotta get more steps in a minute. If there's anybody in watching this who wants a reading, let me know. Dre asked for a reading. Did you want any specific question or anything? hopefully I'm pronouncing your username right. Dre00723. Hi, how are you? Phantom Punk 007. Lots of 007s in here. There's lots of sevens in here right now. Oh, good. That's so good to hear. So you can hear me clearly, right? I'm wearing Bluetooth headphones, so I'm not sure how the mic is. Yes, of course. I'm still waiting for the other person, but I can start yours for now because I haven't heard them reply in a while. I can show you the decks I have on my desk at the moment because I'm thinking I'll stay with the decks I have near me, and I can show you what ones if you have any specific one you'd like. What's coming your way soon? Okay. Give me a moment. I'm just gonna see what I vibe with for it. Okay. I think so. I'm gonna do a mix of decks for you. I'm gonna do the tarot. Tarot is usually specific, but I'm still learning the tarot slowly, so I like to do my own interpretation and read from the book. I'm gonna do the Shaman Dream, the Power deck, and for the advice, I'm gonna do affirmators for you. That will be specifically for advice, and I'll read the card. Okay, so let's see. Reading on what's coming your way soon. So your near future. Let's see. I'm gonna grab a drink real quick. Oh, thank you for the follow. Okay, so let's shuffle this. So what's coming your way? Spirit's coming to Phantom Punk couple seconds away within the near future. Oh, is it one or both? It's one. Okay, that's interesting. Alright. So this goes here. Okay. Okay, so I haven't flipped your tarot over yet. I want to talk about how I placed it first. So the first card that fell out is sideways. Before flipping it over, the sideways to me indicates that there's an indecisiveness or an indecision of some sort, almost like an impasse or a crossroads you're at, and you haven't decided which way to go or which direction to take, is what I get so far. Down below, the way I place the cards, it makes the whole setup kind of look like a gate, and it also makes me think of like Ireland and like the I'm sorry, I forget what the ruins are called, but they're shaped like an upside down U. The two stones and the stone above it, which tells me foundation. And I'm being told that you should look more into your roots to start with. Now I'm going to flip it over. So the card that's sideways is the Three of Swords. it makes me think of opportunities, choices to be made. It almost feels like swords is usually related to the mind, and it makes me feel like they're thoughts, and the thoughts are like, it makes me think of like career directions you're trying to decide to take or go towards. Um, if it doesn't resonate with you, I'm just saying what I'm interpreting. Take what resonates with you and leave the rest, or if it might come later on, or so on. Just be open-minded to your reading. That's usually what I tell most people. So let's see, Three of Swords. It's neither upright nor reversed. So what I'm going to do from the book is I'm going to read you both. I'm going too far. Nice, I flipped right up into it. So upright position is sadness, betrayal, heartbreak, and suffering. Reverse attributes are moving on, being stuck, and healing. Oh, okay. For what you're vibing with. So, well, it's tough to admit, but heartbreak has arrived. The Three of Swords is card of pain and suffering, no two ways about it. This card touches on emotional pain, but remember that this is the Suit of Swords. Your pain is most likely has to do with communication issues, moral and ideological friction, or a betrayal of intention or commitment. Cry it out and vent to a good friend. Seeking understanding, validation, and catharsis will help you move forward. When reversed, the Three of Swords hints that you're in a period of heartbreak, that your period of heartbreak may be coming to an end if you let it. That doesn't mean the pain isn't there, it just might have lessened or shifted. Don't let overthinking or suppression of the situation prevent growth and healing. Grief has a way of dragging you down, making you settle, but try not to let that happen. Remember that after every fire, new life blooms. Oh yeah? Yeah, mine's mixed. I go between tarot and oracle card. I usually vibe more with the mediumship side of it, of talking to past and loved ones, more so than the future predictions, but I will do them. Yeah, so my niche is more mediumship on that side. So I have a respect for those who do the future predictions. I'm sorry if mine comes off as vague. I try my best. Oh, good. That's good. Okay, so that was your top card, but like I said, it was played sideways. So I feel you must be like stewing in mixed emotions because you're neither over it nor are you succumb to it. You're kind of in the middle. It feels like a surreal feeling. You feel like you feel like you're in a weird fog, basically, is what I get out of that card being sideways. But I also mentioned an indecision. So you're because I mentioned the indecision originally and like where you can go with things, that's like your choice. You can choose to go to a new area or you can choose to stay, but you're kind of in between right now. We have the King of Pentacles in reverse and then the Seven of Pentacles upright. The Seven of Pentacles upright I'm more drawn to first. It makes me feel like you have a good income source of some sort. It doesn't necessarily have to be like a huge moneymaker, but like, I don't know, maybe a side hustle or something that's making you money, or that's something that you will be doing and that's looking promising for you. The King of Pentacles in reverse, I'm not sure what I'm getting out of that, but I'm drawn to his feet. So let me read from the book for that one. I'll start with the Seven of Pentacles first because that's the one I felt drawn to first. Is it upright? Yeah, it's upright. Investment, commitment, and patience. Okay, alright. So far looks good. The Seven of Pentacles signals that you're at a point in your life where you're waiting for returns on the investments you've committed to. You've put a lot of time, energy, and effort into what you're watching with careful, hopeful eyes, and you're unsure whether things will work out. For some reason, that phrase is making me think of a romantic position. And I feel like if you're attached to a romantic position that's no longer aligned with you, you should let it go, which would be sometimes it's easier to let go than hold on. The Seven of Pentacles calls for patience. If you keep at it and stay vigilant, you should achieve success and stability, even if the form of that success and stability isn't what you thought it would be. Always keep a bigger picture in mind and stick to your commitments. Um, they're telling me you should focus on yourself first. I feel like you consider everyone else around you, or you feel like you're like a very giving person. You help those in need, you give to those in need, um, but you often don't help yourself. It like especially in emotional needs is what I feel like. Oh, good. I'm so glad. Um, so I'm gonna move on to the King of Pentacles in reverse because I had a hard time doing my own interpretation of that one. So I'm gonna read directly from the book, and if something comes up, I will interpret that. Okay, it came up in reverse, so I'm gonna tell you the reverse attributes. Financial ineptitude, obsession with wealth or status, and corruption. The King of Pentacles warns of overindulgence, corruption, and negligence. He tells you not to lose sight of your purpose and the community or tradition you're dedicated to. Don't become stingy with your resources or teaching. Devotion can go a long way toward creating prosperity, and ensuring promise. Okay, I'm gonna pull one more tarot card with you after this, but I'm gonna kind of go off of what I just read. So I just mentioned how I feel like you're very giving, but it feels like it's like you're almost too giving, like giving to a fault. And sometimes that probably puts you in, I don't want to say a poorer financial position, but you feel like it kind of feels like you like never have a flow of money because it always goes somewhere else, is how it kind of feels. Okay. Alright, so I'm gonna play one more tarot card because I feel like I should play one more. Shuffle it. It flipped right over for me. Four of Swords. It makes me think of the coat of arms, protection, especially with your mind. And it also makes me think of. It doesn't make me think of therapy, but it makes me think of maybe whether it be you or someone you know, maybe someone kind of borderlines on needing assistance with their mental health. It's like a very close tie. You need to protect yourself first. Think of yourself first. And I'm now they're giving me an image of like someone, you being a given person. They're giving me an image of someone who like comes, gives you a hard time and doesn't consider your feelings at all, but you always consider theirs, and basically your kindness is being mistreated and it's affecting mental health. That's what I get out of these vibes so far. I'm, but it makes me think of coat of arms, protection. Um, like I said earlier, I was thinking, oh, Stonehenge, that's the name of it. I was thinking of Ireland and the Stonehenge. I think that's Ireland. So I don't know if that's in your family history, your ancestry, or your blood of some sort, but there's something correlating with that. All right, so Four Swords. Rest, restoration, introspection, recovery, and meditation. Okay, that makes sense because it's talking about protection and the mind and everything. Your emotions too. Like, protect the mind, heart, body, and soul. Protect all of it. After the pain of the Three of Swords, which arrived in yours sideways in the beginning of this reading. So this is a good card as your final card because it shows a shift in energy. After the pain of Three Swords, you deserve a period of respite and reflection. This card signifies that it's time to take a break, whether from dating or from work. You most likely need to remove yourself from the current context and take some me time. Me time. Routine and progress are fine, but if you can't stop and reflect and check in with yourself, your needs, your wants, you can't be sure you're on the right path, is what this card says in the upright position, which I feel like was a confirmation card of things I just said towards you a second ago. Alright, so let's see here. That was the tarot. I'm going to move on to the Shaman Dream deck next, which is one of my oracle decks. I did the tarot first, so I probably won't be playing any more tarot. For your reading specifically. If someone else comes in, I might. Okay, so let's do this next. Let's see what we have here. Just so you can see what it looks like. This is the deck. Shaman Dream. I think I showed it earlier, but just in case you missed it. I'm gonna grab a drink real quick. Is it one or two? One. Okay. We have Dream Thief. Refusal of the call. This tells me, actually, you kind of mentioned it earlier now that I think about it. This tells me you're very intuitive already. You know what doesn't serve you anymore, but for some reason you're ignoring it or you're forcing yourself to go through the suffering, but you already know what you need to do. Um, I'm being told to say this phrase, the lesson needs to be learned. If you don't learn the lesson, it's just going to repeat itself. Lost in space and needing direction. This makes me think of your inquiry today about the reading. I'm drawn to the concept of the image, and it makes me think of the phrase seeing the world for what it really is. I also see the light above her head, which makes me think of the cartoon stereotype of the light bulb, like an idea comes to your mind. It makes me think and feel like you're a creative type of some sort, whatever that may be, or something creative that you like to do that helps you relax or you haven't done in a while you should do again. We have the wall and obstacles. This makes me think of mental challenges, which is kind of something I went over not too long ago. And I see the moon in the window. I feel like you're heavily influenced by the moon. Like, for example, for me, I'm actually influenced by the weather and the moon. So, like, full moons keep me up all night. I can't sleep, and half the time I don't even realize it's a full moon until I just give up that I can't sleep. So, this makes me feel like you're heavily influenced by the moon. I'm hearing moon phases, and it does this. I I feel like your energy doesn't really vibe with this, but this is a suggestion to you, is moon rituals, to look into that and possibly do one for yourself. Any other cards from this deck? Yes. We have horned cactus and resourcefulness. This makes me think you have a resilient energy. It makes me think you often carry very heavy weight and burdens of others. So you have developed a resilience to it, but it also weighs you down and it slows you down too. So it's hard to move. So it keeps you stuck and staying in one place at a time. Getting back into integrity is bottom of deck vibes. And top of the deck is the crossing and initiation. So far, basically what I feel is that you are like stuck in limbo. You're very confused and indecisive in this moment. You're seeking guidance. You don't know where to go next, what you want to do, how you should approach things. And basically what Spirit is telling me to say is, like, you're in this moment, which is confusing, but to help you get out of that confusion, make a decisive decision. So, like, uh, for example, let's say you're stuck between three options of career paths that you're thinking. Let's say you want to be a vet, or a construction worker, or a air pilot, for example. Um, you can't decide which one you want to do, or maybe you want to do all of them, but that will add more confusion to you. So instead of thinking of all of them, decide on one, try it, go for it, see how you feel. If it doesn't work, try the next one. So basically be decisive in the direction you're going instead of thinking about all the directions at once. And this doesn't have to necessarily um, be from the it doesn't necessarily have to be from career path specifically. Sometimes this can also mean an emotional, spiritual, or mental one as well. Alright, next deck is the Shakti Power deck. I like to use this deck. I often read the bottom message as a direct message that it wants to say. I don't sugarcoat any readings, so anything I say specifically. Okay, this will be posted later, so if you need to, I'll just play one for you, I suppose, and I'll play others if we come back. Let me just quickly shuffle. Oh, it flipped right for me. Your last card for now is Objective Focused Observation Illuminates Truth. Oh, thank you so much for letting me know. I'm so glad to know that. Alright, so I'll leave that there. I'll play a couple more. If you come back later, you can see the last little bits for you just to finish up. You're welcome. Bye. Okay, so let's play two more. Mother Energy pours forth life. Reinvigorate yourself. Bring forth your life again. Find who you are. Who is your inner self? Who is your outer self? Who you want to be? Let's play one last one from my power deck. Sometimes it's good to seek help from others. I mentioned mental health and possibly needing assistance with it. This is a confirmation card for that. Mother Energy pours forth life. Find yourself. Even if that's a journey you have to take on your own, do it. Go for it. Because that's going to reinvigorate you and your life. And it might actually help you come back in focus too. And for the last deck, I'm going to play Affirmators just as advice to give you, and that'll finish up your reading for this time. Okay. Advice for Phantom Punk 007. First card. Oh, I feel like I was planning to play more cards, but I feel like this one card is enough to end your reading. So I'm going to go with it. And first thing I want to mention is that I entirely see the evil eye, which is the eye of protection. So basically, I feel the need to tell you that you're protected. And this is what the card says, and I'll just show you what it looks like in a moment. Good things to come. There are so many amazing gifts coming my way. I can't see them now because I respect the general convention of not peeking under wrapping paper, but they will show up when the time is just right, and that's when I'll remember how much fun it is to be surprised. And it's a present all wrapped up like a gift. And if you look closely, all the evil eyes, which is the totem of protection. So, all good news, it looks like. So, good things are coming your way, but you have to be decisive. Don't be stuck in the confusion. Make decisions, even if they're small, be decisive while you make them. Especially when it comes to yourself. Okay. Alright, so that was Phantom Punk 007's reading. I don't know if Dre is still in the chat, but I will still do a reading for them either way in this stream, just to get it in there, excuse me. And they can come back to it later if they want to. So, I feel like I need to play that one for you. I feel like for Dre, I don't. Hello? Stars 2020? I don't know what that means. I'm send a different message if you want me to reply, or I'm gonna ignore that for now. Anyway, so I'm going to do, what was the username? Dre 00723. And energy for you, I didn't get a reply, but with the decks I have on my desk, I just feel like I only need to play one of my decks for you, so I'm gonna go with my intuition. I'm also gonna put some chapstick on because my lips feel so dry. Okay, so for Dre 00723, I'm gonna play the life purpose cards for you. I'm gonna do it based on the oracle interpretation of it. So bear with me while I get the deck out. how to do this, but that's okay. Alright, so reading for Dre. I feel like I should do a short reading for you. Your energy feels like it's kind of quick and to the point. The first card that comes up is Speaker. Your life purpose involves your skills of oration. Like public speaking. I actually feel like you're someone who struggles with stage fright a little bit. And maybe it makes me think of like TED Talks and stuff. Maybe you have to go on stage or something and you have to. Hello, how are you? Um, Zyra? Is that how you pronounce that? Oh, okay. I don't know how to fix that. Thank you for letting me know. I'm new to streaming, so I'm learning as I go. Okay, great. Thank you for letting me know your pronunciation. I'm just going to finish up this quick reading for someone who I haven't heard from in the chat in a while. So, yeah, I thought about trying, but I like I said, I don't know how to do that yet. I'm learning as I go. I'm pretty new to this. That's okay. Brinth, she helps me with that stuff, and a couple other followers like to give me advice like you just did. So thank you. Okay, so for Dre 00723, you also have body work. Your life purpose involves body work, such as massage therapy, energy healing, physical therapy, exercise training. I'm drawn to physical therapy the most, so it makes me think maybe you need to give some kind of health talk or lesson of some sort, kind of like I don't want to say like an expose or anything, but like you have to travel and talk about body work and you have to speak and it's like TED Talk, but it's very educational. That's what I get out of this so far. Thank you. Light and love. Your purpose is to bring divine healing, light, and love into this world. So for Dre 00723, your reading was very quick, but I feel like you're pretty self-aware and you're pretty in tune with your emotions and directions in life. Hi, hello. Nice to meet you. Platinum Girl 101. Um, Zara, are you just visiting, checking it out, or is there anything you want? Platinum Girl 101, nice to meet you. Are you also just visiting, checking things out? Don't mind me, my lips are just really trapped. Oh, it looks like you guys know each other. Fun, fun. It's always fun to join a party. Yeah, absolutely. I'll sit there looking. Okay. I have a few decks you can choose from. When I started the stream, I was streaming, I was doing a recording, streaming, because I do YouTube videos too, of messages from past on loved ones when I started. So I have a mediumship deck and then other decks. I have more, but I'm sticking with the ones I have on my desk right now for the reading interpretation. So let me give you a look, and you guys can let me know what ones you're interested in. So the mediumship deck that I just say hello to anyone who's in. You want the mediumship deck? This is the one, Talking to Heaven. Um, yeah, that's great. I don't. It's a nice one. I think it's fun when people in chat say hello to each other personally. I think that's great. Okay, so there's that one. So that was the mediumship deck. I have the Life Purpose Oracle cards. the Shaman's Dream Oracle card, Anime Tarot. Tarot I'm still learning, so I do my own interpretation of the card first, and then I usually read from the book after. I have Buddha Wisdom Shakti Power, and I have Affirmators. To me, this is more like advice. It's like an advice deck, and it calls me out on my nonsense when I need it. Thank you. That's only some, but that's what I have on my desk right now. My others are in my bookshelf, and I'm being lazy, if I'm being direct about it. So you want both the mediumship deck and the shaman deck, or just the shaman deck? What about you, Platinum Girl? Did you have any specific deck you wanted? Okay. I'll start with yours first as I wait for Platinum Girl's reply. So, alright, Shaman Dream Deck. So you want to do a general reading, so I'll let it play out and let's see what comes up. All readings are for entertainment purposes only. Take what resonates with you and leave the rest. And if there's all I ask is that you keep an open mind. Some messages might not resonate, but they will later, and some things, if I mention that you have no relation to, forget, or don't think it's related, might come along the way, down the line, or could be in the past. Alright, for Sarah 300. First card is called Gathering Around, the Power of Community. This kind of makes me think that you're currently working on building your community. I see the fairies and the mushrooms. It feels like very nature vibes. Do you vibe with like nature themed things like mushrooms, plants, and so on? This fix my. I can feel it falling out. Oh, hello. We have stars in the sky, limitless possibility. It's a very pretty card. Meditating and sitting on a bridge. Just that one makes me think that you're ready to build a community. I have the fairy and mushroom vibes, very nature based vibes going on for me that I'm drawn to in that card. And then the next card, the stars in the sky, limitless possibility, makes me think of you haven't really decided what direction you wanted to take yet. Like you haven't decided. I'm hearing the word genre or like type, style, category, those kind of things. Like you haven't decided your niche. That's the word I'm looking for. You haven't decided what your niche is yet. Or you're kind of considering and weighing your options between two, maybe, or a little more than two. So far from your reading. Oh, nice. Alright, horned cactus and resourcefulness. It's telling me you should look into others who have similar vibes of what you're considering and seeing what you like more between the options you're choosing from. It's also telling me to remind you if you do choose one to start and try and to keep in mind that you might not vibe with some of it and there may be some things you thought would go in a better direction but are kind of slow and it's it's telling me to remind you that there's advantages and disadvantages in everything. Alright. Oh, did I show you the card? I don't know if I showed you the card. Horned cactus, resourcefulness. Deep diver, diving into a task. This makes me think specifically a hobby you enjoy. It kind of feels like a hobby that kind of takes you forever. Like I'm an artist myself, and it takes me forever when I really want every little detail and everything. It feels like that. It feels like a you enjoy the hobby, but it also feels daunting because it takes forever and it takes a lot of your time away. Break it into pieces. Break it into pieces, like do 30 minutes to an hour one day and do it again another day instead of 4 hours the whole day. And that may make it feel less daunting. Um, I also feel like I feel my back, and I feel like it makes me think of like when the shower runs down my back, and it makes me think of swimming. So a cold shower. I feel like cold showers are kind of like your thing where it helps refresh your mind and your ideas. It's kind of where you get your creative juices going, is what it makes me think of. Um, I think this is supposed to be based off of fish, but it makes me think of feathers and very pretty. You can see that. I should probably start tilting the cards towards the light. Oops, you can see that. I'm sorry, my little earpiece is falling out of my ear. Okay, so let's move on to another card. I'm drawn to the number 9 in your card. 9 usually is significant to endings that head towards new beginnings. So like you're not quite in the new beginning yet, but you're getting ready to end something soon is what it feels like. Deep quiet, meditation, and stillness. I, if I'm being real with you, I don't know if this has significance, but it makes me think of the piano. I don't know if you're a music player, but the hands and the way they're positioned make me think of the piano. Maybe you like piano music or piano. I don't know if it's significant, but something with piano is helpful to you in some way. It might be a way that you meditate, or listening to it is a way you can relax. Yeah, it makes me feel that way. It feels like a relaxing thing to me with piano music. Or maybe you're starting to learn piano, I'm not sure which, or it's a consideration. Oh, good. I can't read music, but I love instrumental music, like listening to it. I can't sing or play myself. I can sort of play chords on an ocarina, and if I have like elementary school level things for the piano, I can do it. So, um, next card is Straddling Worlds, Wandering Between Realms. So this makes me think, so I am playing the Oracle cards for you right now, and it makes me think of my own journey and how I started exploring the cards to do readings. And I started doing the readings on myself first, and then I explored more outward and doing readings for other people. And the Wandering Between Realms makes me feel like you have an interest in that spiritual stuff too, but it also makes me feel like you want to do something that's correlated both with your current interest and mixing that in together with it is kind of what I get for the vibes out of that card. I also see it's like a little smoky wisp thing in the card, but it makes me think of thread. So threading makes me think weaving, like weaving things together. So I don't necessarily know what it is you're going for. You don't have to tell me, but the advice or the what the reading is interpreting is it can be accomplished, but make one your primary focus and add little tidbits of the other one within it. So there's a way you can incorporate both, but one has to overpower the other so that way it doesn't conflict the whole time and make it seem indecisive. Um, so like, how do I put this? So okay, so for example, I'm a big person on law of attraction and um, manifestation, and I like to do scripting and affirmations, but I suck at meditating, and I have a hard time like sitting still for a long time. So the affirmations is like sitting still and doing like being in the meditative state as you do the affirmations over and over again to create the manifestation. I'm bad at doing that, so what I like to do is scripting instead, and I still do both because forces me to hyper focus on it. So like I hyper focus on the affirmation part of it, but not the meditative part of it. So one outweighs the other one. And the advice is for you to do the same. You still can incorporate both to make a coherent and cohesive piece, but do it in a way where one is the primary focus and the other one's like it's like jewelry. It's an accent you add it on to touch it up and make it look pretty, basically, is how I'm getting at it. But bottom of the deck vibe is Cosmic Womb and the Divine Feminine. And top of the deck is Vanishing Mirror and Ego Sublimation. This specifically makes me think you should kind of explore and experiment and see how things go. It feels like you're in something where you can like easily kind of just play around with things a little bit and see how you like them. You're being advised to do so because then you're going to learn things about yourself and how things go for each item. So what you can do is you can stick with one first, see how you like it. If it doesn't go anywhere, stick with the other one, do the same thing, doesn't go anywhere, and then try the thing with both and see if that works in your favor. So like think of it as like a science experiment. Try one, try the other, and try both together, basically. That's how I see that so far. How'd you feel? That was the last card playing. I didn't really do much on this one. This felt like a confirmation card to me. Cosmic Womb, the Divine Feminine. I feel like you're more in the feminine side. You're in the yin side more. Kind of like the easygoing and everything. Oh, good. I'm so glad. Thank you. I love hearing if it does or not because one thing I personally struggle with when it comes to my own readings is I always get like good reviews or it's spot on or like the response does well, but for some reason I always have the feeling like, oh, I don't know if they liked it, the second guessing. I always get the second guessing for some reason. So I appreciate you telling me that it was spot on. Thank you. My earpiece keeps falling out. I should probably switch to my other headphones, but I'm sorry if you hear my finger like messing with this. I haven't heard from I'm sorry, I forgot the username. I haven't heard from Platinum Girl 101. If you're still here, would you still like a reading? That's okay. I got quite a few in for this reading. That's really nice. I appreciate you stopping by. Do you mind if I ask where you noticed my stream from? Were you specifically looking for tarot or anything? No, okay. Okay, great. I'm glad to know that. I'm getting used to tags and whatnot, and I wanted to see if, I was curious to know where I showed up. I had a couple of visitors today, so it's nice. It was, this is my second long stream I've made, so I'm planning to be a variety streamer. So if you see me again, it might be in tarot, it might be in art, or it might be in co-working or gaming. I do a mix of stuff. Okay. Yes, that's great. Thank you. You're always welcome to visit. Lurkers are welcome to any of my streams. Mhm. I think I will end this stream soon though, because where I live, this is getting close to my bedtime. I get up early in the morning, so thank you for stopping by, and I'm so glad that the reading resonated with you. Thank you. It's a pleasure meeting you too. I hope do whatever you'd like, but it'd be nice to see you again. Thank you for stopping by. From as an intuitive reader, just as a tip of advice, when you get readings, it's great to get multiple readings from different readers. When you want multiple interpretations, but in terms of the same reader, it's best to get like max two of them around the same time, and then depending on your energy, it might still be the same. So wait like 6 months to a year to get the next one because your energy might still be the same within that 6 months. Just as a heads up and advice for you. Thank you for the follow. Alright, I'm gonna close the stream out. Thank you again. Thank you so much. And I hope to see you next time. Bye.